to use what the God gives to us, and gives to us also the mind, because we was the highest race. And when you start to understand that with that moon on certain period, it's good to make like that, then even if you don't have an answer why, you just use. You know the stupidity of the schools of today, agricultural school. I went, and you know, it's many times is you have to forget, you have to make, you have to teach, you have to learn things which your father say to you that this, please make, you have to make the school, but you have to forget very as soon as possible. You know, this is on one side, if you come at home and you are not making the class, you are like bad boy. You know? But on the other side, if you don't forget, you are also somebody which for my father was not acceptable. But you know, farming was how we say, agriculture, no, not agri-barbarism. You know, it's very different. And if you ask me if we was the same farmers like 5, 8 generations ago, yes. But today we know more. We can do, for example, today we have a special part of the cellar where we prepare the yeasts, where we can select the natural yeast, but the yeast from the vineyards, you know. For my father, he made a selection in a very, very, how do you say, primitive style. He used the barrels, which was like that, because the barrel, which is shorter, not and higher, no, can make bigger differences between what is down and what is up. No, if you want to divide the yeasts, you have to give them different temperature levels when they have enough food, when they have enough sugar. Then they don't make a war, because the winners of that war, they are Tarzan boys, which are not like a Tarzan with which is positive. They are the aggressive yeasts, which normally can never make the fermentation, can bring the wine to the end, you know. And many farmers today, you also our brothers, which are also making a very good wine, which I like, but they have always a problem of not finished, you know. But you know why? Because they using the nature doesn't mean that you work less. You have to work more with hands, not with machines, many times. And you have to understand more. You know, you have to know what the selected yeasts from somewhere which you buy are. That's wrong to say, no, I even don't know what they are. No, it's not like that. You have to know that. Huh? And for that, the way was the same, but today we can be better. And I want that, you know, in 70s, if I open the bottles of my father, they are great. In 80s, a little bit less, but that's another reason. But why? Because he make a big step. If you try my grandfather and him, you know, the vintage, which was incredibly good, 43, and Merlot is excellent, but the wines before that and after, normal. Okay, but 70s, 80s, great. End of 80s, it was again another problem, but that is another story. Let's, what, you have the second?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Tasted Ribolla, no Sauvignon.
You know, when you drink the wine, you know, the future, I believe, that will be just that you drink, and then after that, just immediately a photo, pack. You have to drink your, here is a measure, how much is your tubes weigh, how long you have your stomach,
yeah,
and then you drink your quantity, and it has to be impression, like tack. You don't need to say votes then, whatever, it's very interesting wine or whatever. You have to be honest, open. You know?
also doing biodynamics? Majority?
Some
or-
of them, yes, some of them not.
So it's also cultural. You're saying like your family's done it, but also some people are doing it continuously.
Uh, you know, it's not like that. I have to be honest. You know, in my country, you know the story with Yugoslavia. No, the only winery which was private was Movia. And when but the farmers, it was not like in Russia that they lose the land, the vineyards. They was producing grapes. But when you produce grape to sell, you have totally different. Your product is a kilo of grape, which is completely different than wine. You know, if you have to do wine, you make something which is a grand opera. You know, it's impossible to compare. No, a kilo is paid by weight. A wine is never paid by weight. You know, it's different. And the kilo of grape is normally the price is a situation of that moment of one area. If you are much better, you can never be paid enough. You know?
If I could, to your question though, Fernando, I mean, if you consider right across the hills of Polio on the Italian side, it's literally a stone's throw from Grosvenor, Lipivic, La Castellada, who, as Alesh mentioned, are families that have been producing this sort of, before the word biodynamic came into sort of flashpoint,
Sure.
been practicing brilliant traditional farming for generations. So yeah, there are people that are very near him that understand that, as you say, just good farming, basic good farming practices, and continue that. And it's interesting when I spoke with Paulo Vudovic at GPT and Josko Grosvenor at his winery, the mindset was the same. You've heard this before, certainly from biodynamic farmers. The name is like something that's new to them. They've been practicing the farming for a long time. And it's a matter of perfection and growth over generations, taking what it worked for his father, what didn't work, incorporating that into his mindset and moving forward. That's it.
And one other thing, when we speak about biodynamic, you have never to be also pressed. In a way, let's say, you do the 500 or 501, that things are sometimes bringing something which is, you know, it's used in a bad way. I can tell you why. Because you are farming one piece of this planet, okay? And never you can do the same things here or there, or even, you know, the biodynamic, the first time when somebody who wrote something was, let's say, 150 years ago. First, then, you know, Rudolf Steiner, he was not a farmer. You understand? But he was so smart to bring the things which are normal for our life, for our body, for everything. What makes the body solid. He transmitted that for farming because he understood very early that the farming already in that time went in a little bit different way. The farming have never to be the first, the first point have never to be production.